Hi there, how are you all? How is your week going and how? I remember that I left you with the saying of mine that says, be the father or mother your children need you to be, not the father or mother you want to be. This simply means that you should put into consideration the nature of your children. In putting into consideration the nature of your children, then you be a parent to that child according to his or her nature. This may not allow you to be parent to your kids or be the same type of parent to all your children if you have more than one, because of the children may have different peculiarities in their natures, like differences, So that's why you have to be the parent your children need you to be, put into consideration the nature of that child and not necessarily be the same type of parent to all the children. So then what are the various styles of parenting? What are the various ways in which you can be a parent to your children? That's part of what we are going to be discussing today. Stay with me. Not disposing what I said earlier on parenting being something that cannot be taught fully and it being something that relies heavily on practical. Parenting can be put into simple words to mean promoting or supporting the economical, physical, social, and intellectual development of a child from infancy to adulthood. Parenting being that there are a few things that actually influence the parenting style that will be adopted in different households. Things like social class, culture, religion, society, immediate environment, all of these are things that influence what style or what parenting style would be adopted in different households. Influence in the sense that it could actually be a factor in consideration when you are trying to select which style or which parenting style you would like to use in your household or in your family setup. According to a developmental psychologist, Diana, she gave us 3 different parenting styles, and after some time she added one more, which makes them 4 parenting styles. They are authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and uninvolved parenting. The first one we're going to be looking at is the authoritarian parenting style. The authoritarian parenting style comes in a way that the parents are very strict and rigid. They give the children high demands and they make rules that are non-negotiable for the children. So they have non-negotiable rules for the children and they are very, very strict. Most of the time when the kids fail to follow the rules and regulations, they tend to be punished. Children under this parenting style or children under family setup that uses the authoritarian parenting style mostly turn out to be liars because they have to tell the truth to avoid punishment all the time. I think you have to note it that mostly under family setup that uses the authoritarian parenting style, there is little to no care about the children's feelings or the children's opinion and stuff like that under the authoritarian parenting style. The next parenting style we're going to be talking about is the permissive parenting style. Parents under this category basically leave the children to be free, which means that the children's freedom and autonomy is of high value under this parenting style, and the children under this parenting style are mostly happy, even though they may show a bit of lack of self-control and self-reliance because the family structure at home actually lacks some structure. Under this setup, the parents barely makes room for the children or actually have high demands from the children because they want the children to be free to make decisions on their own, take up responsibilities on their own, and probably just grow like nature grows, like plants grows. They should just grow with little to no interference from their side. Another parenting style is the authoritative parenting style. The authoritative parenting style is the parenting style that is described to be the just right parenting style because it is a combination of the authoritative and the permissive parenting style with limits to each of them. The parents under this parenting style, even though they make demands for their children, they put into consideration the children's feelings and emotion. And anytime they want to make laws, they make laws and let the children to know the consequences. Or when I ask you to do this and you don't do it, this is what happens and stuff like that. So the consequences they've already put out is what actually allows the children to do what they are asked to do, not because of the fear of being beaten or something. Parents under this style of parenting usually invest time and energy in their children to avoid behavioral problem before they even start, and they use high level of discipline, and they also imbibe a system that we call the praise and reward system. For instance, if you do this, you praise the child for doing it. If the child does something that is good, something that is worthy of being acknowledged, in fact, everything that the child does at that kind of parenting style should be acknowledged, and the child should be praised or rewarded as comfortable, as convenient. These things are what actually push the children to keep doing it, apart from the consequences that they've already been exposed to. Children under this setup or under this parenting style, children that go through this parenting style with their parents usually turn out to come out with high level of discipline, and for every action that they do not do, or for every action that they do, they have their reasons for doing it, because that's how they were raised. They were taught, you don't do this because of this, you do this because of this. So it gives them a very broad horizon on why I should do this and why I shouldn't do this. The uninvolved parenting is quite the brutal one, because it means that the parents are absent both physically and emotionally. It means that the parents in that setup or in that parenting style do not even take care of the basic needs of their children, and in that kind of setup they give no expectation for them. They expect nothing from the child, and I think that's actually expected, because they actually give nothing to the child. So they expect nothing from the child, no behavioral requirements, no attitude, lessons or anything. It's more like as if the parents are in picture but they are not actively in picture, more like passive. So that's like, those are the 4 major styles when it comes to parenting styles. Before we wrap up, there's something that is also called the parenting practices. These are basically things that parents introduce into their family set up or into their parenting style that is more like unique to them, even though somebody may be doing it, but it's just like family practices. It could be like moonlight tales, something like that. Maybe when the kids are going to bed, you read them a story, or maybe when they want to read novels, you read the novels aloud to them to help them gain linguistic skills, or maybe you pick up a new language and probably, so every time you want to say good morning, probably say good morning in that language, just so that language will stick with the kids. It could be something that you guys do maybe during the weekend. You guys have a baking spree whereby you guys talk about everything and anything. It could be a mother to daughter kind of thing, like something that you and your daughter would only do, or something like father and the son will always do. Just something very unique to spice up the whole relationship between parents and the children. It helps to build a bond between the parents and the children. It helps to strengthen the bond that is already there between the parents and the children, and it gives the kids more reason to be confident in the fact that that's my parent. Like, I have parents that have my back, I have parents that are there for me, I have parents that actually puts into consideration my emotions, how I feel, what I have to say, my opinions and all. So I feel really excited that we actually started taking a tour around the whole parenting villa. I know you all are so excited as well. Even though we started taking a tour, it doesn't mean that we are anywhere near the end, because like I said, it's like an endless stream of knowledge. It's something that you keep learning day in, day out. A parent of 40 years actually still learns something new, maybe at the 45th year and all, which is why we are going to be taking our time to explore this villa at a slow and steady pace. A little knowledge, they say, is better than outright ignorance. See you next week.